You ever call it business and have a conversation that's so smooth, so human, you start to wonder if you're actually talking to a person or some crazy advanced AI? Well, chances are it's the AI. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on exactly how these incredible AI voice agents get built from the ground up. Let's dive in.
So, that was Kylie. She's a fully functional AI receptionist. She can pull you up in a database, check a calendar for openings, and book you an appointment all in real time. The really fascinating part isn't just what she can do, it's how she was built. And, the starting point for all of this might actually surprise you.
So where do you even begin? Well, before you write a single line of code, before you even think about picking a platform, the single most critical step is designing the conversation itself. You have to map out every single possible twist and turn.
And look, pretty much every top creator agrees on this one. It doesn't matter if you're using a fancy tool to make a super detailed diagram or if you're just sketching out a basic flowchart on a whiteboard. The principle is exactly the same. You have to map out the entire conversational journey first. This is your blueprint.
And at their core, most of these calls follow a pretty universal pattern. First, you've got the greeting. Second, you have to identify the caller's intent, like what do they actually want. Third, you gather all the necessary details, a name, a time for the appointment, and finally, you execute the task. This simple structure is the skeleton that holds the entire thing together.
So, with our blueprint in hand, we can finally start putting the agent together. And to understand how it works, let's break down its anatomy using a really simple but powerful analogy. Just think of any voice agent as having three fundamental parts: a body, a brain, and skills. If you can get your head around these three components, you'll understand the whole system.
Okay, first up, the body. This is the part we actually hear and speak to. It's the front end. It's powered by a voice platform that's doing the heavy lifting of listening to what you say, turning it into text, and then speaking back with a super realistic voice, often using amazing models like those from 11 Labs.
Next, we've got the brain. And this is the cool part. It's not complicated code. It's the system prompt. It's basically a detailed instruction manual written in plain English that tells the AI who it is. You are Ava, a friendly receptionist, what its goals are, and the exact step-by-step logic for every scenario you mapped out in that blueprint. The quality of this prompt, well, that's pretty much everything.
So how do you actually write a good one? Here are 2 pro tips. First, use markdown formatting, headings and bold text, to give your instructions a clear structure. It really helps the AI understand what you want. And second, get ready to iterate a lot. An early prompt might just say, be friendly. But by version 50, it might say, adopt the persona of a cheerful but efficient assistant. Never use slang. If a customer sounds frustrated, respond with empathy before restating the options. See the difference? That's the level of detail you need.
And finally, you have the skills. This is the back end. If the body is the mouth and ears, and the brain is, the brain, then the skills are the hands. These are the tools that let the AI actually do things in the real world, like connect to a Google Calendar, check a customer database, or fire off an email. Without skills, the agent is all talk.
So let's dig into those skills, right? Because this is where the AI stops being just a voice on the phone and starts getting stuff done. It's a huge decision in how you build this thing, and there are a couple of different ways to think about it.
On one hand, you can just use the functions that are already built into the platform. This can be faster for simple tasks. But on the other hand, you can use something called a master control program, or MCP server. Just think of it like an external traffic cop. The agent sends it a request, and the MCP routes it to a very specific, simple little workflow. It's a bit more work to set up, but man, is it way more scalable and easier to fix when something goes wrong.
And this quote from Nate Herc just nails why you'd go to all that trouble. The whole goal is to avoid having your smart AI receptionist call up another smart AI just to figure out what tool to use. That's just doubling your work. It's slower, it's more expensive, and it's totally inefficient. Instead, the AI calls a simple, non-AI workflow that does one job and one job only. So what does one of these skills or functions actually look like? Honestly, it's this simple. The AI brain calls the book appointment function and just hands over the data it collected, the email and the time. That function grabs the data and does one specific thing. It creates the event in Google Calendar. That's it. It's just a message with a mission.
Okay, so our agent is built, the body can talk, the brain can think, and the skills can act. We're done, right? Ha, not even close. Now comes the final and maybe the hardest challenge, making it tough enough for the real world.
After you make a few test calls yourself, everything might seem perfect.
But what happens when it takes hundreds of calls from hundreds of different people with different accents and different problems? What happens when things, inevitably break? Because at scale, a whole new class of problems starts to emerge. The agent might start hallucinating, and yeah, that's the real term, where it just confidently makes up facts, like offering a discount that doesn't exist. Or it gets stuck in a loop, asking you the same question over and over. These are the deep, nasty bugs that a handful of your own tests will never, ever find. So the solution isn't to just make more phone calls yourself. No way. The real industry standard solution is to use AI to test AI. It's a process called large-scale automated simulated testing. So from a simple flowchart to a complex system with a body, brain, and skills, all the way to bulletproofing it with AI-driven testing, that's the journey. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If an AI can master all the complexities of being a receptionist today, what role is it going to take on tomorrow?